Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about something huge, the seismic shift AI has taken in education in just 2 years. What started out as a pretty simple assistant has totally transformed into a powerful partner, and we're going to break down exactly how that happened and what it means for everyone.
Think back just a couple of years. Using AI in a classroom was basically just giving a text generator a command and, kind of crossing your fingers for a decent result. It was a tool you had to direct, step by step.
And wow, fast forward to today, and that whole relationship has been completely turned on its head. Now, AI is a real collaborative partner. It's capable of reasoning, planning out complex projects, and even creating interactive tools all by itself.
So what's the big deal? What changed so dramatically in just 24 months? How did we make this incredible leap from just predicting text to having a sophisticated cognitive partner? Okay, here's the absolute core of it. The fundamental shift is that AI moved beyond just guessing the next word in a sentence. It actually learned to reason, all thanks to a brand new way of thinking. And this isn't some niche tool for the tech-savvy anymore. We're talking about a massive structural change that's hitting the entire education system, and the adoption numbers are, frankly, staggering. Look at these numbers. By the end of 2025, we're projecting that 85% of teachers and 86% of students will be actively using these tools. This isn't just an experiment anymore. It's becoming a fundamental piece of the modern classroom.
So, to really get what's happening here, we have to kind of pop the hood and look at the core architectural change and how these AI models work. It's all about moving from just rapid prediction to deliberate, reasoned thought.
So think of it like this. We've gone from a fast, intuitive System 1 AI, which was prone to making stuff up. We've all heard of hallucinations, right? Well, now we have a System 2 AI. It's slower, it's more deliberate. It actually thinks before it speaks, verifying its own logic internally.
And the secret sauce behind this is a process called test time compute. It's basically like the AI is showing its work in the background. It spends a moment to run through its reasoning, plan its steps, and make sure the final answer is logical and sound before it ever shows it to you.
Because these AIs can now think, it's unlocked this whole amazing ecosystem of specialized tools. So instead of one AI that's just okay at everything, we now have different AIs that are brilliant at specific parts of the whole teaching and learning process. And what this means is that an educator's workflow can now include a whole suite of specialized tools. For example, as you can see here, they might use Google's Gemini for some really deep research, then leverage OpenAI's models for structuring a logical curriculum, and then turn to Anthropic's Claude to whip up custom interactive learning materials on the fly. And this is where things get really wild. It brings us to the next big leap, Agentic AI. These are AI models that can actually perform multi-step digital tasks on their own. We're talking about browsing websites, downloading articles, and organizing them into your cloud storage, all from one simple command. Okay, that all sounds cool in theory, right? But what does it actually look like in the real world? Let's walk through the process of creating a complete lesson using this new Agentic toolkit.
A teacher can now follow this simple 6-step workflow, pulling in the best AI for each stage of the process, all the way from research to automation. This lets them go from just an idea to a complete interactive lesson plan in a tiny fraction of the time it used to take.
Now, look at step 3, creating materials. The teacher doesn't have to know how to code or use any complex software. They can literally just describe the game they want in plain English to an AI like Claude Artifacts.
And boom! Just seconds later, a working interactive game appears right in the window, ready to publish and be played by students on their phones or tablets. What used to take hours, maybe even days of work, now takes seconds.
So this incredible new efficiency, it leads to a really fundamental question about the role of the human educator. What does a teacher even do with all this extra time? And that brings us to our 5th section, the teacher as orchestrator.
You see, the teacher is no longer just a prompter, feeding commands to an AI. They're becoming an orchestrator, a workflow designer who curates the AI suggestions and, most importantly, provides the human wisdom and nuance the AI just doesn't have.
This new job is often called being the human on the loop. It's about being responsible for asking the really critical questions that an AI can't. Is this lesson culturally sustaining? Or will this content actually motivate my students? This is where human expertise becomes more valuable than ever before.
And this whole shift goes way beyond the classroom. In fact, what's happening in education is really a preview of how all professional work is evolving in the age of AI, which we'll explore in our final section, Humanity on the Loop.
As these AI agents handle more and more of the routine, technical stuff, the core of human value is shifting. It's becoming less about the execution, the doing, and way more about strategic guidance, ethical judgment, and emotional intelligence, all those essential human things that AI can't replicate.
Which leaves us with a final and pretty crucial question to think about. As AI becomes this incredibly capable agent in every single field, what does it truly mean to be the indispensable human expert who's guiding its work?